Hello everyone and welcome to Cerridwen Cottage. I'm Daisy and this is my mum Annie.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about some of the books, television programmes and films that we love to watch and revisit in this autumnal season that we're entering now. I'm very excited to share with you our finds, and most of them I've not seen mentioned anywhere online before, so I hope this gives you some cosy autumn inspiration.
Yeah, they are all really cosy, and we particularly like magical realism. So yeah, there's kind of a running theme of lots of sort of magical things, and there's something for every age range, and whether you like something that's just very fluffy, or if you like there are a couple of sort of slightly scarier things for adults. So yeah, we hope you find it interesting and get some cosy autumnal recommendations that maybe you haven't heard of before. So we're going to delve straight into the children's books, which we still love and we still read them every year. We absolutely love them. So for us, and I still read it to Daisy.
Every Halloween this comes out. It's still got my little scribbles on that I put on there when I was a toddler.
But it's really cute. I don't know if other countries have this, if you can get hold of this anywhere else. I don't know if anyone's heard of Angelina Ballerina, but this is Angelina's Halloween. And it is so cute. I mean, we'd recommend anyway for children or people that are young at heart, that like really lovely picture books. It's got absolutely gorgeous illustrations.
In fact, I've bookmarked our favourite page.
Bookmarked our favourite page. We'll probably do a sort of cutaway, is that what you call it? As well, but it is so cosy. So they've got a gorgeous little cottage, and yeah, it's just really wholesome and really lovely. So yeah, when Daisy's at home, when she's not at uni for Halloween, we have always, since she was a baby, read this for Halloween. And then what else have we got, Daisy?
Right, let me go and get the books that are for younger children. So this beautiful book, October, I'd say this is suitable for kind of any age, but the font's quite large, but I'd say reading age wise probably 7 and above, and this follows the story of a young girl called October, and it just has such beautiful descriptions of nature, and she lives with her dad in this little cabin in the woods, and it's just so magical, and I thought it was really well done. I myself read it a couple of years ago, so as a young adult, and I really enjoyed it, so I think anyone would really love this book, and again, very autumnal.
And that's set in America, is it, that one?
No, that's set in the...
That's a UK one.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, so again, people that aren't from the UK may not have heard of it, but yeah, it's really, really cosy.
Yeah, so it's like in the countryside in the UK in autumn, so it's beautiful. I'd really recommend.
Yeah, October by Angela Harding, but we'll put a list of everything we're going to mention in the description box.
Yeah.
What's next, Daisy?
Okay, so this is one of our absolute favourite authors. We went to see her quite a few years ago now, but she's absolutely incredible. So this is Kate Saunders, the author, and this is Beswitched. So if there are any fans of Enid Blyton books, it's essentially an Enid Blyton book with loads of humour, there's magic, it's incredible, time travel, anything that you could want in a book, this has it.
And it's sort of like in a boarding school, so it's, again, really good for this time of year, back to school.
Yeah, back to school.
Going to boarding school. But, I mean, literally any book you ever bought written by Kate Saunders,
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you wouldn't be unhappy. So even now, you know, again, I used to read them to Daisy when she was little, and I used to find them hilarious and really magical and cute. So yeah, we thoroughly recommend this one particularly for this time of year,
Yeah.
isn't it? Beswitched.
And then another
There's a woodland
woodland
theme, but
theme.
you've got to have
It's
books
autumn.
set
It's
in.
got to be. So this is In Darkling Wood by Emma Carroll, and this is kind of a fairy tale, and there are fairies in it, and it's just beautiful. There is a bit of kind of like time travel element to it as well, and it's just really gorgeous. And this one is set in Yorkshire, and yeah, it's just really autumnal, really cozy. I would recommend. In fact, I read this myself when I was a child, and then you read it as well, and you really enjoyed it. I seem to remember.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's really cozy.
Yeah, okay. So that's all our kind of children's and middle grade books that we've got for this time of year. So now we're going to move on to the young adult section.
Yeah, well, it's sort of, well, we don't call it middle grade in this country, but yeah, just sort of for teens and above, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so teens and young adults. What shall we start with? Yeah, we start again, continuing on the woodland theme. This is the Hazelwood. So this is very fairy tale. In fact, in parts quite... I was surprised at how scary it was. There's a lot of humour in it. This is set in like upstate New York and partially in New York.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, it might have been the one that you were thinking of. And again, this is a great book. I would really recommend. There is a second one which isn't quite as good, so I'm not sure if I would recommend that. But this first book is brilliant. Have you read it as well?
Yes. Yeah. I seem to remember them going to the grandmother's house. Is that right? Is that the one?
I was giving away the plot, but
okay.
yeah.
I remember. Yeah. I remember them travelling to a house.
Yeah, it's very creepy, and there's major plot twists in this.
Have I given something away?
You haven't given something away. No. We're all good.
We should have checked that I remembered which book was which before we started.
Okay, and this is another great back to school book, Threadneedle.
Yeah, so this is it. This is a British book.
This is a British book
set
in
Welsh.
London.
In fact, a Welsh woman wrote it.
Yeah.
Karen Thomas.
And it's set in London. Again, back to school, following a teenage girl who is a witch, and it's just wonderful. And
she's kind of been taught to suppress her power, hasn't she? To not use her power, and she then meets some other
teenage witches, and they form this wonderful witchy community, and it's a really good book. And there are several kind of spin-off books which are also really cozy, and we weren't sure which one to recommend, but this is like the back to school autumnal book, so we decided on this one. But yeah, all the books that she's written in this kind of series we'd recommend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's a big one.
It's
a chunky one,
but worth it. Now this one I haven't read, so I'll leave this to you to sell.
This oh gosh, I've just dropped my glasses. This was set, I think it's Pacific Northwest. So yeah, in an American book, and probably a lot of people have heard of this one because it's a relatively new one, and I think it's been really popular. But again, it's got that kind of back to school vibe because it's basically like a magical school. And they're sort of in control, they're sort of like weather witches and things. Absolutely beautiful cover, and I know that there's a sequel which I haven't got yet, but I would definitely recommend this for this time of year, because it does have all that sort of, I mean, who doesn't want to sort of have a back to school feel where you go to a magical school? It's basically, like a sort of American Harry Potter sort of thing. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that for teenagers and above.
Right,
we're going to go on to adults.
We're going to go on to our adult section, and then we'll you where we are. Goodness, this is a long list, and
we may have to do a couple of videos,
because
we've got lots of books which we love, and then some DVDs and TV programs, which again we haven't heard a lot of these mentioned by anybody, and it would be mean to keep them all to ourselves because they are really, really good.
Right, I'll give you one of your favourite authors. Now.
So this is by Paula Brackston. I don't know, again, if anyone's heard of her. She is a British author living in Wales, but her publisher is American. So, so basically I would recommend anything that Paula Brackston has written if you like magical realism. So she's written lots of sort of books on witches, which we'll probably recommend in another video for other times of year. But this one, I chose this one for this time of year, called The Little Shop of Found Things, and oh, it's so pretty. The cover is so pretty, and it's set. This one is set. Most of hers are set really in Wales, around sort of the Brecon Beacons, which is a mountain range in mid Wales. But this is actually set in Marlborough in Wiltshire in England. So not far from sort of Stonehenge and Avebury, if you're familiar with that area. And it's basically a time travel book. So her and her mum have just moved to Wiltshire to open an antique shop. And they've moved from London to Wiltshire. And she suddenly realises that she can time travel. So yeah, it's really cozy. So it sort of switches from the present day Wiltshire to 17th century Wiltshire, and there's sort of some lovely sort of historical detail in it. So yeah, if you like time travel, if you like the thought of sort of cozy English villages, late summer, autumn, then yeah, I would definitely recommend this. But as I've said, please look at all her books if you like magical realism, because they're brilliant. What else have we got to?
This is one of my favourite dark academia reads, the best dark academia read I have ever.
Because everyone's always talking about what's the Donna Tartt one.
Everyone's always going out The Secret History. And The Secret History is amazing. I've read it several times and really enjoyed it. But this, I'd say, is even better. I know that's a bold statement to make, but it really is. I read this in one sitting. I couldn't put it down. So The Maidens, and it's
by Alex Michaelides.
Greek?
Yeah, a Greek. Yeah, my mum's Greek. So.
So it's set in Cambridge. So very dark academia, back to school. I think it's in autumn as well. And it follows kind of a set of kind of classical murders around the city, linked to the university. And I don't want to give anything away, but it's brilliant. There's a great plot twist in it that you kind of are guessing who's done it right till the end. Beautiful descriptions of Cambridge. I'd highly, highly recommend this. Not enough people know about it. And
yeah, again, dark academia, Cambridge,
murder,
back to school. Yeah. It's I mean, if it was Oxford, it would be even better. But no. So yeah, in all seriousness, it is a brilliant book. I've read it also, and can thoroughly recommend it.
Okay, so this is one that you introduced me to.
Yeah.
And I read it more recently.
Yeah, so you talk about it because I'll end up saying.
Okay, so this is kind of a witchy folk kind of book.
It's really unusual.
It's so unusual.
It's one of the most unusual books I've written.
And I absolutely love the feeling of this book. So
it's set in the 1960s, isn't it? Early 60s in northeast England.
And it's kind of talking about kind of old traditional kind of ways of life, and kind of this young woman who's living with, she calls her grandmother, and kind of learning about herbalism and kind of healing from her. and it's just beautiful. It's kind of a coming of age, kind of witchy book, and it's beautifully written. I don't know quite how to describe it, but
it's, well, I don't know what, I don't want to say too much,
Yeah.
because I don't want to give it away.
But yeah, it's just gorgeous.
Or would that give it away?
I think it would give it away.
Okay.
But yeah,
You're just going to have to read it.
You're just going to have to
trust
read
us and
it.
read it. It's
Sorry
really
to be
good.
so mysterious, but it is a gorgeous book. It's again one of my
Brilliantly
favourite
written.
autumn reads.
Yeah, it's really well written and really unusual. So there's a little bit of sort of peril and menace, but it's not terrifying or anything.
No.
So we're into fluffy, really.
Yeah.
So
But also, if you're not a big fantasy fan, I wouldn't say this is majorly fantasy. It's more kind of fiction-y. It doesn't go too much into kind of witchy, supernatural. It's more kind of folky.
Well, it does, but yeah, again, it's magical realism,
Yeah.
which is kind of what we like, rather than you go to a different dimension or you go to a different world or whatever. It's just kind of little magical things that are kind of happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a really interesting read. And nobody has ever heard of it.
It's gorgeous.
When we've mentioned
It's
it to
literally
people.
gorgeous.
So yeah, Limits of Enchantment,
Gray
Gray
and
and Joyce.
Okay, and I think I'll give this one to you to describe.
Okay, have you read this one?
I have read this one, and it's gorgeous again.
It's amazing. Again, I don't want to give away too much.
Fans of Outlander,
Oh,
you would
yeah,
love this.
Yeah.
You would
So-
love this. It's even better than Outlander.
So this is Witchlight by Susan Fletcher, and it's basically like the diary. Oh, actually, is it her diary or the? No, it's the person. So basically, a young woman. It's set in Scotland in the Highlands. Unbelievably beautiful descriptions of nature. All year round, but it's kind of got an autumny, wintry kind of feel.
Especially with the witchy element.
Yeah.
I feel.
So basically, she was living in the Highlands. She gets accused of being a witch, and then this guy, he's Irish, isn't he? Yeah. This Irish guy comes to
Essentially take her confession.
take her confession, yeah. And he's very anti-witch, but then it's his diary. He's written what she's told him. And it's really, really good. It keeps you kind of on the edge of your seat. And again, even if you're kind of not particularly into magic, the descriptions of the countryside and just it's just really well written and really, really interesting. And
Again,
even if you just see it as a, what's going to happen to this young woman? Is she going to get executed as a witch, or, is this guy going to help her? It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
So,
Again, Outlander fans, read this book.
Yes. But there isn't time travel.
There isn't
But
time travel,
no.
but
Yeah, do it. Just do it.
Just do it. And this is our kind of autumn to be. Well, it's kind of
mine.
yours.
Yeah. You're going to be too busy at uni.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take like one book and hopefully get through it. But this is.
These are not recommendations, these three. These are ones that I have bought. So when I'm missing Daisy desperately when she's back in Oxford, I can comfort myself, hopefully, with these books. So, in fact, I don't even know what some of them are about as such. So do you want to talk about that? Because actually Daisy bought me this for my birthday in June, and it was definitely did not look like an June read, so I've been saving it. So it's called By Rowan and You by Melissa Harrison, and look.
So this is a children's book, but it's just so aesthetically
But I've read a Melissa Harrison that was meant for adults, and
What
yeah,
have you read
lots
by
of
her for adults?
Oh gosh, what was it called? It's over there. something set in on a farm in Suffolk.
Sounds good.
She's very good at nature descriptions, and this I think because she's also got one that's sort of more summery.
Yeah, I think she's got one for each season.
Do you remember what it was called?
No. I wouldn't like to guess.
Sorry, we're being a bit rubbish. But anyway, this is the one we want to talk about because look, it's got toadstools and lovely cosy berries and things. I mean, you just want to walk on that path with them? I do. So, and it was slightly modelled on a book I read recently. What was that one I read? In fact, you weren't here when I read it. Little Grey Men. Was that it?
It might have. I don't know.
I think it's called Little Grey Men.
Oh, it might have been.
So it's quite an old book that it was written years ago about these little kind of gnome sorts of creatures that go on this adventure to find one of their missing brothers, and again lots of beautiful nature descriptions. And I'm pretty sure that Melissa Harrison, her objective in writing these books was to kind of do a kind of updated version of them. So can't tell you what it's like. I know that that's basically the premise, that it's little kind of magical creatures that go on a little adventure.
Yeah.
I assume with it being Melissa Harrison, there will be lots of gorgeous descriptions of the British countryside.
Yeah, we kind of bought it for the aesthetics alone, really.
Yes, yeah. So I'm really excited to read that. I think it'll be super cosy. And then, excuse me, the next one, I kind of bought it because it's called The Raven and the Crow by Guy Sheppard. And when Daisy's in Oxford, I miss her terribly. So I try and do things that as kind of, I watch a lot of things. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Inspector Morse and Lewis. It's a British crime series set in Oxford.
If you can get your hands on it, highly recommend.
Yeah, again, that would be perfect for this time of year. Really, really cosy, really dark academia set in Oxford, murders and things. So I tend to watch a lot of things like that when Daisy's away. And I bought this because this is basically ticks lots of boxes. So
ooh, the glasses.
The glasses, I'm afraid, are coming on. So it's only been released recently. So let me see what it says. Do you want me to read the blurb? I'm going to read the blurb. Okay.
Go for it.
Jamie can't breathe. Jamie can't speak. Stop that. Okay. Other patients are sick. Other patients can't help him. On his chest struts a raven who says the devil is coming. Sorry, my glasses are broken, so I have to hold them up so I can read it. Doctors say he is delusional after weeks spent lying in the intensive care unit of his local hospital. I'm so sorry, Guy Sheppard. It sounds really good. I'm making it sound really tacky. Having survived COVID-19, next night he sees the bird's prophecy come true. Someone dressed in full PPE and crow mask attacks a young woman called Ivona in the bed opposite. When Detective Sergeant Alison Ellis arrives to search the ward, she finds no violent intruder. Surely Jamie's superstitious talk of crime and folklore is as confused as her own elderly father who lives in a care home. Except the dying Ivona cries out, "The crow will kill us all." So it's set in a remote village in the Cotswolds and contains lots of English folklore. So yeah, for me, I associate the Cotswolds with autumn because Daisy's going back to uni in Oxford, and Cotswolds is in Oxfordshire, just outside Oxford. And it's a crime, magical sort of crime mystery sort of thing. So I don't know if it's any good. The reviews seem good, and I'm intrigued to read it. And then my last one.
This looks so cozy.
Oh, it looks gorgeous. But I literally don't know what to say. In fact, people that have even read it, when I was reading reviews, are like, we can't even describe what it's about. But let me show you anyway. Isn't that gorgeous?
When it came through the post, I was like, oh my goodness.
You wanted it, didn't you?
You can give it to me. It's gorgeous.
So, Now She Is Witch by Kirsty Logan. it's British. Okay, let me read to you. It doesn't really say much on the back.
Okay, serious face.
Excuse me. You must stay away from the North Witches, my mother says. What we do isn't the same as what those witches do. That's literally all you get.
Is there anything on the...
No, people have just put powerful, beautiful, deeply unsettling. The prose is magical, spooky, timeless, feminist.
All good things, it sounds like.
So... Oh, I can't also read this because it's just gonna take too long. But it sounds like it's kind of feministy, magical. People are saying it's a witch story unlike any other. It's supposed to be really, really engaging and engrossing. And I mean, just look. Who wouldn't want to read that? So yeah, I'll probably let you know when I've read these and give you a review on them.
Yeah, so we'll give an update in the comments once you've read them.
Hello everyone, thank you for watching so far. We've decided to split this video into two sections, part 1 for books and part 2 will be coming out in the next couple of days with our TV series and film recommendations. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you and see you in the next video.